What's going on, brothers? It's Mgtow of the name. Got a video for you. It's your entitled Inflicted Part 26. Here goes. So, by now you've all seen that video that Brother Dennis Sperling put out where one of these domestic reptiles decided to grab a passport, jump on a plane to Tokyo, Japan. And while she was over there, she tried to swirl. It didn't work. And then she tried to go after a black man over there. The black man over there ignored her. And in typical domestic reptile fashion, she ran to social media to flick shit at all black men. To which brothers worth their salt, brothers with eyes ears to hear, all just pointed and laughed. They pointed and laughed because by now we all know that right there is what we call a passport Keisha. One of these hoochies went overseas thinking that she was going to live out one of those swirl fantasies in those books that you find in Walmart. It didn't work. It did not work. And the same goes for the domestic reptiles who are shitting off to Dubai and complaining that they're broke. It's too expensive. They have been taking L's all year long. But while they've been taking L's, they're still getting on social media, still lying, still gaslighting, still engaging in stage theatrics and buzzword vomit. And while they're doing that, the hoochies who cheer them on, and the bitch made Simpson cheer them on, I'm sitting here observing that the demand for passports have not slowed down all year. Have you noticed that, brothers? The demand for passports have not slowed down all year. These brothers worth their salt are done with these hoochies. The fucking game is over. They lost. God damn. The game is over. They lost. And not only did they lose, these tree stumps, these feminists, and these trollops, and the chameleons who were in this space ear hustling, they lost too. Because every narrative that they spill, every lie that they tell, all the stage theatrics that they engage in, none of these men and young men believe them anymore. They don't believe them. Translation: the stranglehold and the monopoly that they had on lying to men and boys for 55 years has been broken. That's why more of them are in this space ear hustling. That's why they're in this space ripping up our talking points. And why even the tube keeps funneling those Bumble app ads to the space. You really see that shit? I see it. That right there is desperation. They lost because they kept lying to men and boys. They kept gaslighting them. You're imagining things. Your father hates you. Something's wrong with you. Do better. Do better. Why don't you take off your pants, put on a fucking dress? All of that mind control, all of that gaslighting, all of that gynocentric sewage backfired. And they can't stand it. Answer that, I gotta say it like this. Their misfortune and their failure to counter-program, all of that was self-inflicted. That was self-inflicted. They're the ones who pushed and promoted the destruction of the nuclear family. Linda Gordon got her wish. She said the nuclear family must be destroyed. They were also the ones who remained silent as people like Emily Linden promoted false accusations. And she said so herself. It doesn't matter if a few innocent men's lives are ruined, all that matters is dismantling the patriarchy. She said that. And these feminists and these chameleons didn't say a fucking thing about it. They didn't utter a fucking peep. And when Nora Vincent died, you know the staunch feminist, the hardcore feminist, when she died, none of them uttered a peep. They didn't utter a peep because they created her. That woman spent her entire life believing that all these men were chumps and that they have life on easy mode. And when she disguised herself as a man, she quickly found out that men were actually more tolerant. She found out that men actually have it much worse. And that smashed her tiny little world to pieces. It eventually drove her to self-deletion. But here we are. We're nearing the end of 2023. There's trouble to labor in the Capitol. There's 2 major armed conflicts going on. And one of those major conflicts right now is over in our first estate. Our first estate, as in that land adjacent to Egypt. That land. And then there's talks of a female draft. And then once again, you have these very same feminists, these femcells and spincells running right back to traditional relationships. So you're a feminist when it's convenient for you, but when the going gets tough, you shit your pants, run back to traditional relationships? You put back on the fucking apron? The young men see this shit. Men with their salt see this shit. We've been cataloging this for years. That you're a bunch of liars and hypocrites. They see this shit. And now, enough men have your playbook. That's what the problem is. Men know too much about these trollops. That's why the buzzword vomit, the stage theatrics, and the shaming isn't working anymore. It doesn't work. It is what it is. And I'm going to say it like this. For you brothers worth your salt, you brothers have eyes and ears to hear, you brothers out there who are worth your salt, sure, things are going to get tough for us, but those who prepared for it will be able to weather the storm. These trolls, these ditch pigs, these femcells, these poltroons who come to this sector to rip off our talking points, to counter-program, and pretend to be on the opposite side of our arguments, they're in for some very rough times. You know that famous scripture, I will liken my judgment to a ring? The translation for that is, what goes around comes around. They ask for everything they're getting. Because too many of them, especially these feminists and these tree stumps, truly believe that the sun shines out of their ass. They truly believe that that psycho-fuck Disney fantasy is real. That those cheesy, corny-ass rom-coms are real. But we don't live in a psycho-fuck fantasy. We live in reality. In reality, we are subject to the laws of reaping and sowing. If you plant bad seeds, you get a shitty harvest. If you make bad choices, you get bad outcomes. All these sperm toilets and all the drakes who stink up Instagram, TikTok, and are still ear hustling, they're learning that right now. It's painful, but they ask for it. It's 100% self-inflicted. But it's not what I think. How about you, brothers? What are your thoughts on the subject? Love to hear about it in the comment section. Hit me up. This is L.O.M. Mgtow. That's all I got for you. Like the baddest in the commentary, feel free to subscribe. If you want to donate, visit my channel, find tip jar on the upper right hand side of the screen. That's your bill icon. Alright, fam. Alright, brethren. You know it's real. You know routine. Go away, live away. SYSPM. That's for these ditch pigs. That's for these hoochies. As for these femcells, these poltroons, and these male hyenas, what problem we say how we say it, give them nothing. This has been Mgtow PSA. Welcome to State. See you soon.